Hey, I'm Mark Mangarin from Team Caribou Lodge. With Nationals over, we come to a close for an amazing year, and shout out to Ferdico for taking third at that contest using the manatee. Thanks everyone for the support, and I'm really excited to see what 2018 has in store for the Lodge. Keep tuned and peace.
The new Joyride is out at retailers worldwide in some pretty sweet colors. Both of these may go fast, so you might want to pull the trigger on them if you've been thinking about buying them. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey there, this is Patrick Canny with the Scales Podcast. We wanted to give a quick shout out to our great sponsor, YoYoExpert.com, where you can make the simple amazing. My man Nate Dailey just released a new yo-yo, and you can go cop it on YoYoExpert.com right now. You can even get free shipping on your order if you use the promo code SCALES, that is SCALES, SCALES. Free shipping on that order. Pick up the ND Ultra and make the simple amazing. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Hey everyone, this is Colin Beckford from the Scales Podcast. Today I'm here with Mark Mangarin, Andrew Bergen, and Patrick Canny, and we will be talking about the U.S. National Yo-Yo Contest. So the first player that we'll be talking about is Angelo Aguirre. For me personally, Angelo was a player that I wasn't really expecting to do as well as he did, because he's kind of had a quiet year, not making finals at BAC, but I think he seriously killed it at Nationals this year. I've only seen his semifinal and final, but both were extremely strong, and his final especially showed a lot of potential for his future. His style is still developing, but I think he has some pretty interesting ideas, and then a few years down the line I could see him being a really strong presence in 1A.
Yeah, he definitely had a way better structured routine than I would have expected from someone who hasn't. I don't even think he's probably done a 3-minute yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because the tricks were all good and it was all choreographed. I found that one issue that a lot of people had that I saw at Nats was that they would choreograph too densely and they would fall behind on it. I think that was really the biggest issue that I saw with it. Aside from that, I was really, really impressed.
I agree. Next up is Nate Dailey. Although Nate did his Worlds freestyle, I can tell that he worked a lot more on it. It was much more polished, and he seemed to add some stuff. But unfortunately, the string snap near the beginning of his freestyle, causing a -5 major deduction, threw him off, as his freestyle still had a handful of small mistakes that set him behind in tech. But to be completely honest still, I think if Nate went clean and didn't have that string snap, I would have thought that he easily would have won.
Yeah, I can't imagine him losing without the major deduction, honestly. I think that his tricks were the most optimized for contest out of anyone there, by a long shot. I just think his tricks are by far much better than everyone else's right now.
Yeah.
Especially at the contest. So the string snap got counted as a -5 off of his overall, right?
Yes.
Why is that? It's via technicality, right?
It's a technicality, yes, it's part of the judging
It's
system.
because it's supposed to prevent the yo-yo from flying into the crowd, is that right? Yeah, I think it's all via technicality. I think it's an interesting sort of rule, because I don't think... I guess you could go back and change it. I don't think there's a big issue with changing it, but it's just that at the... this is the most relevant time that I think it's ever happened.
Because had it not been for the string snap, I believe Nate would have been bumped up to only 3rd place, actually.
Yeah, which is interesting. Do you think that it affected his execution or anything like that?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's amazing how something like that can affect so much. Because I think after watching all the freestyles, it appeared to me that he was trick-wise, he was the best, I think.
Yeah, so I was kind of rooting for Nate going into this contest. I thought he had a really good shot at winning the whole thing, and I think his freestyle really showed that. As Bergie said, I think Nate had probably the most current tricks with the meta, and his tricks were really well optimized for the contest, and he pulled off a really cool freestyle, a more refined version of his Worlds freestyle. I thought that Nate showed really good resilience in this freestyle. Even after he had the string snap, he was still able to do a clean and well-executed freestyle. The string snap was just a really unfortunate turn of events for him. I think going forward, Nate needs to be really critical of his horizontal, just because it has super low click density, and it really can kill his technical score going forward. So I think Nate maybe should like look into that thing going into 2018, just to continue to be a top contender. And yeah, I'm really stoked to see what he does in the offseason too.
Next up is one of our own, Keiran Cooper. I think Keiran had my favorite freestyle from the whole contest. His style is seeming to get like much more diverse as he's incorporating his strong abilities in his like arm tricks and as well as his above the head tricks. Especially nearing the end of his freestyle, I think him being able to hit pretty much all of the overhead tricks was extremely impressive to me, but he had too many small mistakes in the middle, and messing up his speed combo near the end set him back really far. But all in all, I think this is Kieran's best result yet, and I'm looking forward to see how he does in 2018.
I mean, Keiran has my favorite tricks, I think, out of anyone right now who is competing. I just think that most of his tricks are, on top of being like super polished and like contest oriented, are really unique. He really has his own style. I would say that Kieran's freestyle, I think, was better at World overall.
Yeah,
except he hit more stuff at Nationals. I think that this freestyle had a lot less amplitude.
Yeah, I thought that the Worlds freestyle had a lot more amplitude as well. And I mean, if he did his Worlds freestyle at Nationals, he probably would have done better, maybe.
I think so.
I think that his Nationals freestyle was awesome, and it's similar tricks to his Worlds freestyle, but he still runs into the same mistakes in both contests, where the small mistakes that he has because of his trick density really screws with his timing, and it causes him to score way less than he should have. And I think that's pretty much the only flaw he has right now.
Yeah, it's that he's doing so much stuff that it looks like he's doing a ton of stuff correctly, but like if he misses 10% of his tricks, it's like minus 20.
Right.
Yeah, and I just felt that overall, sometimes Kieran's transitions between songs and I guess like sections of his freestyle at Nationals were like a little bit less polished than they were at Worlds, which kind of threw off his performance vibe, I guess.
Yeah, I really think that his biggest flaw overall that I always see is that he goes too fast. Where there are certain points where the music really picks up and it forces him to go like 20% faster than he really should be. In terms of like, it would just be easy for him to hit everything, I think. But maybe
and
maybe
in
that's
terms
just
of
my interpretation though.
No, I think you're right. In terms of his problem with small mistakes, that might be just a residue of him trying to go way too fast. And if he just slowed down and kind of hit every trick mindfully, like he would just be a lot cleaner.
But I think if he landed every single trick in his freestyle, he'd be like 20, 30 clicks over anyone else.
Yeah.
But since he misses 20, he ends up being 10 to 15 behind everyone else. But obviously, Keiran is really, really good. I don't know, Ferdico has been really, really good lately.
Yeah, he's had an amazing year so far. He's finalist at Worlds, second at BAC. In a year that was very competitive, he stood out in a very interesting way. He's always had these tricks that scored well, but it's only just this year where he's been hitting everything very, very clean, and he's kind of just put it all together. At Nationals, he did his Worlds routine, and he hit it a lot cleaner than he did at Worlds. I do think that he deserved to be in third place, and I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, I think that his biggest thing is that he has the most variation, technically. Like, he has almost one of every archetype of trick. I think where, like, most people are missing a couple of variations where it's like front style, horizontal behind the back, over the head, behind the back, etc., etc. He has almost every version of trick I can think of. And I think that's his strongest suit.
Yeah, I would also say that along with his cleanliness this year, as we mentioned in our Nationals preview, like, Ferdico really bust onto the scene this year with like much cleaner freestyles than we had seen before. And I think that all of like the practice really shows in that he was able to be super successful this year. And yeah, Bergie's totally right. He has like every type of trick that you could want in a freestyle, and that's a huge asset for him. Yeah, so moving right along, we need to talk about Evan, the winner of the whole contest. You know, Evan clearly used like a totally different structure for his freestyle. Nothing that we've seen before from him. It was all tech, all very like dense tricks, which I think it's pretty much a direct response to like Xi'an's Worlds freestyle, which is like a similar build. So it's kind of interesting to see Evan take that approach. Honestly, I was pretty disappointed in Evan's freestyle because I wanted to see more of his personality in his winning US Nationals routine, and it felt like he really sort of compromised on his brand, I guess you could call it, and did something that was like completely different, which, I mean, yeah, it was like successful in that he took the win, but I guess I would have preferred to see Evan take the win with more of like an Evan freestyle.
I don't know, I respectfully, as it's just an opinion, disagree with you, where I think that this freestyle was just his best because it wasn't like fluffed up with other stuff. It was just like he basically put in just like 15 more seconds of tricks and took out the nonsense.
Yeah, that's what he's kind of needed all along, I think.
Usually I like when he does all of the other stuff, I just look at that when I'm like competing against him as time where like I get to do more tricks that he's not doing tricks. And I think like here is where he actually did all of the tricks and he won.
Another important thing to notice is he has a few tricks that are extremely high scoring but very risky. He usually doesn't hit these, or he hits them to some degree, and it looks like that's where he creates this illusion where he looks like he's scoring a lot, but he doesn't because he misses things. In this freestyle, he really hits all of these in succession. So like the under the leg Brent Stoll combinations, things like that, or the horizontal. Those are really crucial things that he needed to hit, and I think that's what really elevated his freestyle this year.
Yeah, overall it was really clean, and he did a lot more technical stuff, which just sort of like slowly racked in the points. To the untrained eye, if you looked at a freestyle of his, like a different one, it may look like it's higher scoring, but this one was, I think, much better.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, you know, it's hard not to win a yo-yo contest if like you do more tricks than anyone else.
Yeah, that's really, at the end of the day, you can get distracted by all the other stuff, but that's the goal. And like throw in like 2 to 3 dance moves.
I also wish that I would have saw a more Evan style freestyle, but I do respect his choice in going with a more technical build because he did need to win. He did need the technical build to put him over the edge versus someone like Gentry or someone else who's going for a more performance build.
Yeah, I think that really did put him over the edge.
Okay, yeah, that was US Nationals. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Scales Podcast.